Motley Crue has had periods in the 2000s where everything was going amazingly well. The Carnival of Sins tour in 2005 was great. The Dirt movie put the band in front of a worldwide audience on Netflix. They toured with Poison and Def Leppard on the stadium tour. But there's been a string of negativity attached to that band over the last few years, and it may have come to a head with Vince Neil's jaw-droppingly shitty performance 4 days ago in New York. So my buddy Patrick is here to discuss what's wrong with Vince Neil and where does Motley Crue go from here. Welcome to the Hair Metal Guru. My name is Anthony. They call me the Guru. And yes, Patrick is here because if you saw the YouTube clips of Vince Neil in, where the fuck was that? Albany? Or anyway, somewhere in New York on Sunday night. Let's say it's not going to renew any confidence that you may have in the future for Motley Crue. Patrick, first of all, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, man. It's sad watching this happen to Vince, but I mean, all the way back to the end of the End tour, he was already struggling on vocals. And let's be real. There's a lot of rumors out there right now about why Vince was sidelined, why Motley had to cancel dates, and certainly his return to the stage doesn't look like it addressed any of the vocal issues.
It looked rushed. He did not look like he was ready to be there at all.
No. And he also, I mean, he sang even less words per song than he was singing before.
Yeah. I kind of put together like a little timeline of just over the last few years of the shit that's happened. I talked about some of the positive, but they faced a lot of criticism for the stadium tour. Like people were, I mean, I didn't see the stadium tour, but I saw tons of clips, and Motley Crue was easily the worst band on that bill. Vince was really weak. There was talking about if they were playing live. Then in 2022, is it 2022? Mick is kicked out. John 5 comes in. I might have the timeline.
That was 23, yeah.
Okay, so that was 23. Mick Mars is out. John 5's in. Then in October 20, well, they had Dogs of War, and then it comes out on the EP, canceled, that, there's the cover of Fight for Your Right, there's Dogs of War, which was Dogs of Shit. It's all. Then 5 months ago, they were supposed to have a residency in Vegas. It got canceled because of Vince's health problems. It's been moved to September. I'd be shocked, judging by what happened the other day, if they're ready for that. But anyway, that's a little bit of a timeline that leads to this new Vince Neil show. And you said it, he's barely singing any words. He's croaking shit out. I thought at times he almost looked confused on stage. He's just kind of roaming. It was not a good look for Vince Neil.
There was a lot of talk about the band in the, which is basically Slaughter.
It's Slaughter.
It's just basically Slaughter was overplaying the songs and trying to overcompensate for the fact that Vince wasn't singing well, with Dana and Blando and Zoltan Chaney singing lyrics into their mics, as loud as they could. I hate shitting on Vince because from 1981 to, basically 2005, the man was fantastic live.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he was. And I know a lot of people have said that Vince and Motley have always kind of struggled live. But, even when you go back and you watch tapes, it's heavily taped. The one thing that doesn't seem heavily taped is Vince Neil's solo performances. And, I agree with you. I think that I'd be shocked if the Vegas performances still go off as planned.
Yeah. And probably we have shit on them numerous times on the channel.
Oh, yeah.
There are times I feel bad about that. And I'll even kind of, my dad has dementia. He's or all yeah, dementia, Alzheimer's. He's 84 years old. He's in a home. So I feel for getting older and not being able to do what you used to be able to do. I feel for that. Like Vince even said after that, I think it was like after that concert, he said on stage, he said, he said this, I had a medical thing happen a few months ago. The doctor told me, you're probably never going to go on stage again. And I said, I looked at him and I go, fuck you, man. He said, this is what I do. This is what I love to do. So, you know, to say, you know what? I'm done doing the thing I love to do is difficult. Why do you think most sports stars, they don't retire when they're on top? Most of them have to be dragged off the field or the court
Mhm.
or whatever. And it's obviously the same with bands. You don't you don't want to tell everybody, "Hey, you know what? That thing that you know me for, the thing that you love me for, I'm not that anymore. And I'm
Mhm.
never gonna. That's a difficult thing to do. So I feel for Vince Neil. And I'm not gonna sit here and go, you know what? You should never fucking play again. If you want to play and somebody wants to pay to go see you, more power to you. But I will say that I don't foresee myself going to see Vince Neil because I don't want to see that. I have nothing against other people wanting to see that, but uh, it looked painful and it was sad to watch.
I put a post on X today about it, and I said, look, it's very easy to sit here and cut him down and say he's overweight or he doesn't sing the songs real well or boy, he didn't wait long enough to come back. But if you look in those videos, that place has a lot of people in it.
Yeah.
And I would dare say it's probably 1,000 to 1,500 people. And if 1,000 to 1,500 people want to go see Vince Neil, more power to them and more
Now,
power to him.
I will say on the flip side that it was with Stephen Piercy and Brett Michaels, so
Oh, good point. Yeah.
so that might
There's your answer. That's
that
why I
that
went there.
might play
So,
but I completely get what you're saying and I'll add this because um I watching that performance makes me think that Motley is done. No, not done doing shows. I don't think they're going to retire. Number one, I don't think a lot of these guys can afford to fucking retire. Um, but I think they will go out and play, but their days of doing big shows are done. If they don't latch on with another big band, a Guns N' Roses or something, they are going to be down to doing the county fairs and the casinos, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, like there's that's okay if people want to see you there and you're okay with playing there, fine. But looking at what Vince was doing, there's the hopes that Motley Crue is gonna come back. I mean, I guess maybe there's some miracle thing happens and Vince suddenly, I mean, he's never gonna be amazing, but comes back to what he was doing a few years ago. But he's not getting any younger. I can't see it happening. So I'll just, if you want to pay to watch someone take a shit, I mean, everyone has their fetish, right? So if people want to pay, uh, go ahead and go out and play Motley Crue. Go out and play Vince. I mean, I'm a capitalist. I have no problem with that, but I don't think I see myself going to see it.
we did a video a while back where we talked about the fact that Brett Michaels is ripping off the Poison fans and the band. I don't. I look at this too in a similar way. Vince would prefer to be out with Motley Crue,
Yeah.
and if there are people that are perfectly happy going and seeing Brett Michaels play Poison songs at half speed with a shit ass band, and you know, dance around going, "How about you? Yeah," then if that makes those people happy, more power to them to spend,
Yeah.
$100 to see that.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of those same people will go see Vince Neil go, uh, Friday night, yeah, because that's all you're getting out of him is, and I mean, that's all you're getting out of him. And if it's making you relive the nostalgic times in your life when life was easier and you're happier, shit, more power to you because life's about being happy. And if it makes Vince happy to go out there and smell the fried dough and look at the, 1,200 people there, then great. Like you said, I'm happy for him. And he's given people 40 something years of,
Yep.
amazing concerts.
Yep.
But it isn't, I'm not paying a penny to go see that shit.
No.
And furthermore, here's a bigger question, Anthony. What does Motley do now?
Yeah.
How do they live out their legacy?
Like I said, it's it's only downhill from here. Uh I don't, and in fact, like, remember Nikki Sixx said recently, he's like, I think if we hooked up with Guns N' Roses, the two most dangerous bands, Guns N' Roses is looking at Motley Crue right now going, no fucking way we're bringing those guys out.
Oh, never.
And I said in a recent video with you, I do think that Guns N' Roses is going to start saying, hey, we got to maybe put another 80s rock band, maybe a reformed Skid Row if it happened. Maybe they probably wouldn't bring out a Poison, but maybe some, kind of band that matched up a little bit more because, Axl's not exactly sounding the best, and the farther away you get away from the glory years, you might need a package to get the tour that you want. But not not there are no big bands I think that are looking at Motley Crue and going, "Fuck yeah, let's tag team with Motley Crue," because they see what people are saying, and it ain't good.
I've heard things in the the whispers that potentially you could see them go out with Rat, a reformed Rat for one last go, or Rat, Poison, Motley Crue, but
That I could
just
maybe.
I just don't see it happening, and I agree with you. I think right now everybody knows. Remember before the stadium tour, there was a lot of criticism, even by Alan Kovac, who was the manager of Motley Crue at the time, about Vince's weight. And even Def Leppard was saying like he needs to be in shape if we're going to take this seriously.
Yeah.
And he had to drop some pounds before he got out on that stadium tour. And the last thing I'll ever do is criticize somebody's weight because it's a very difficult struggle for a lot of people.
Totally. Totally.
But for the endurance factor of what these people have to do every day, it is a problem. And for Vince to sound good, it's a problem. So there's a lot of issues here. I don't see a lot of people jumping on to sign on to tour with Motley Crue if this is what it's going to be. And let's be honest, the Motley Crue shows that have John 5 are all getting crushed for the pre-recorded vocals that they go out there with. There's all kinds of video of Vince not, you hear Vince's voice, but Vince doesn't even have the mic to him and he's singing. It's a shit show, and I just don't think there is much of a future. There's not a new music future because the canceled EP was awful and it's heavily criticized. I know there's people on X that sit there and go, "Oh, it's so much fun to hear Fight for Your Right live." It isn't fun hearing it in the studio. I mean, that stuff sounds like piss. It's
Yeah.
awful. Like it's just awful.
I mean, the same people who are going to go see Motley Crue regardless of how they sound are the same people who are saying, "Oh, that fucking the canceled EP is great. I don't know what you Dogs of War is fucking good."
Yeah.
That there are those people,
Right.
and there was probably a time in my life where I was like that about certain bands, but I've kind of, I don't know if I've grown out of this. You know what I thought was really impressive the other day though,
What's that?
during that concert was fucking Dana, like the band. I mean, keeping it together without fucking pretending that he wasn't a fucking disaster up there. I mean, how do you? I mean, you're getting a paycheck, but I'm like, how the fuck do you smile and be like, yeah, all
I
right?
mean, I'm pretty sure that Dana Strum's making some serious money. He basically manages those shows and
Oh yeah,
is all together. So I'm sure he's happy to
yeah,
look like he's having the time of his life. And that drummer that he has is fucking amazing.
Zoltan Chaney
Chaney. God,
is
we got
a
to get him on the show because that guy's a
oh,
fucking beast.
I remember the first time I ever saw him, I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And why do I find myself watching him the entire concert versus the band? Unbelievable. Like the most magnetic performer for a guy who's supposed to be kind of in the background ever.
Right. Yeah, no,
Unfucking real.
he's the second coming of Tommy Lee in Tommy Lee's youth. I mean,
Yeah.
he's fantastic. And Jeff Blando's a hell of a player. I mean, he played with Slaughter,
Yep.
Vance, Saigon Kick. He's done all kinds of shit. So,
Yep.
um, but yeah, I don't see much of a future for new music, for really anything with that band other than playing to people who, like you said, are sitting there going, "Oh, I'll see Motley anytime." It's okay, good for you. That's what it's there for. But it isn't going to be in a stadium, an arena, and pretty soon it's not even going to be in sheds.
I do because I mean, I don't, Stephen Piercy probably sounds better than Vince, but Stephen Piercy kind of rough. I could see a, and maybe not Poison, but maybe Bret Michaels solo. I could see like that being a tour, what they just did the other day.
Right.
Brett fucking just goes out and has his jet and plays all these solo shows but I'm just saying like I could see something like that happening. I think some of these bands are getting to the point where you go yep, I can play to 700-800 people at a casino, or I get together with, another one or two bands, and then we can play to 4 or 5 thousand. I
Right.
much rather play to 4 or 5 thousand, even if I make a couple bucks less. It makes it feel more like the glory days. So I do think you're gonna see some of that shit start happening more. Like bands like Warrant, they're always playing these fly-in dates, and they do a lot of them solo, but they'll hook up with Lita Ford or Firehouse. But I
Bullet.
think you'll start seeing that from Motley and
Yeah.
and bands like that here soon as well. So
I There's a part of me too, and I know this goes on the conspiracy train, but the clock's also ticking on the fact that how long until when they realize this isn't profitable, that possibly bringing John back for one tour could possibly be pretty profitable.
oh,
Right.
John Corabi. Oh shit. Uh
Yeah, I
you
mean, it's not going to do arenas or
no.
anything like that, but if you did like 5 shows in Vegas with Karabi and
Oh
maybe
yeah,
you bring back Mick for that,
right.
could be huge.
This could maybe be even its own video, but what does Motley Crue do next if Vince can't do it anymore? And I think, I mean, obviously there's tons of guys out there who could probably handle Vince Neil's vocal style, but you brought up a really fucking interesting point. There are a lot of fans of that album, and I don't know that it could do I don't know that it could do a major tour, but I bet it could do really well in some
Right,
select fly-in dates, a residency. I bet it could kick ass at something like that.
right. Put that on a package,
Yeah.
that could be pretty cool.
How come you're always talking about packages?
Fucking love it.
what about and he's a fan of the channel, but somebody said the other day, um, you guys talk about penises a lot. Brendan Snyder doesn't talk about
Brendan
penis.
said, I put back on that. I said something like, wow, wouldn't it be unique if Brendan Snyder did? Imagine how much his fan base would grow.
I'm like, hey, I don't I like Brandon Snyder's stuff, but I don't think I ever started out this channel thinking, you know what? I hope that I end up a lot more like Brendan Snyder. I'm not, no offense, he's good
Oh,
at what he does, but that's just not who I am. So
no.
anyway, okay. Um, Let us know what you think in the comments. I mean, is it over for Motley Crue? Do you think they have any high points in their future left, or is it all downhill from here? With that, Patrick, thanks for coming on to talk about what the fuck is going to happen with Motley Crue.
Yeah, I think his best days are in the past. Unlike this channel, which is the best channel on YouTube.
I love it when he says that. Okay, hey, like, subscribe, what the hell, ring the bell, and hey, whatever you can do to support the channel. Truly, I appreciate you be here. Until the next video comes out, my name is Anthony. They call me the Guru. They call him Patrick. Take care of yourselves.